PoppaDukes of the OG Social Network Podcast. Time to relax, relate, and release. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing very well today. It is a beautiful day. What's today's day? It's Tuesday, December 16th, 2025. We are 15 days left in the year, and it has been an amazing time. Last 2025. Again, I want to thank my sponsors here that have helped me out through 2025: Proteus420, Green Spectrum, CBD, New York City Cannabis Exchange, Surfside, Event High, great ticketing system there, Myers Security, Jadestone Cannabis Branding Agency, great place to get your branding started, Silk Road NYC, thank you, Sohan, for this year, and really for the last couple of years. You've been there for me. I appreciate you so much. Gordy's Goodies and Whippa Distributors and Pink's Products. Thank you so much, guys. It's just been really, very, it's been very weird. You know, the year is ending, and a lot of major things are going to be happening over the next year. We were hearing about whether the marijuana the schedule would change, and of course, no word on that to date. And if there is, I haven't heard anything yet. But today we're going to be talking with Dawne Morris and Joe Norman, Proteus420, who are just been an amazing support for the podcast, working with Joe and Dawn this year. So we'll be talking with her. She is the co-founder and CEO of Proteus420, along with her husband, Dawne Morris. They are the first POS and ERP system that ever came out for the cannabis industry once California became legal, and then so on and so forth. So we'll be talking about their beginnings, what was MJ Biz like this year, also what's the future for Proteus420 and their new AI, Phoebe. So yeah, we are going to be here. They'll be coming on in a few minutes, and what we want to really talk about, though, is I just want to thank my New Yorkers and my friends, citizens here that I live with in this great city, for kicking ass and joining the cause of electing a new generation of politicians around Mamdani. We are really excited about what his administration will bring to the city. Can he keep all these promises, from free buses to rent stabilized apartments to the dealing with the food deserts, which, you know, it's ludicrous to even have a food desert in America. So this is this is going to be a very important first year for him. And then also, too, we'll be ready for the midterm, the political season, actually, in American politics. The midterm elections will be coming up November of 2026, and we need to be ready for that and get the right people elected from that have pro-democratic socialist ideologies, and that the new term America First really is now America First. We're finding that we're dealing with forever wars. We don't want to send any more money to any countries that deal with genocide and deal with governmental ideologies that separate other citizens and oppress other citizens. My view of what's been going on has been quiet over this past year. I have posted. Everyone knows about my opinions about Palestine and what's going on. But the podcast will be pushing campaign and programs to help politicians that are anti-APAC nationwide. We'll be featuring and promoting politicians that want to do right by their communities and lead their communities and change the fabric of American politics. We also are going to be pushing to eliminate the Electoral College. That's something that's going to have to take years to really push and to take out of American politics, because the masses are very educated. It is new time. This is not the 18 or 1700s. We've had two or three elections where the popular vote was won by the president, but was given to, another president. It happened with Bush. It happened with Kamala Harris, and the second Bush. So, we are looking forward to getting involved in politics more this year. Also, not just cannabis, but politics and community service, and figure out how the podcast can help people get on the platform and get the word out about their programs, their issues, anything to get things started. So I've been stoned for most of the day, trying to clean my apartment, get ready, and I'm like, what the fuck, dude? It's really crazy. But I do know that we are in a new phase in America, and we really have to focus on getting the right representation with the politicians, the people that are out here representing us, and it's getting crazy. I know sometimes I want to check out, or I'll be doom scrolling, trying to get information and stuff, and what really has been triggering me is the ICE situation. So I don't go out because I know I'm going to catch a case. I can't do that. I can't just stand there and watch people be kidnapped out in public. It just doesn't make sense. But if you read history as much as I have, you do start seeing patterns, and you want to be able to identify the wrongdoings in your community and definitely call them out. And that's what a lot of people in America have been doing. We call them out. We appreciate our allies, our people that understand that this is not who we are as a nation. And but I can go on for days. Right now, I have a beautiful lady on who has been a very, very big time support for the podcast. She has bought us a lot of cred. And, today our guest is Dawne Morris. She is the owner of Proteus420 Business Solutions. And she brings decades of experience in finance, digital marketing, and product development, and is a pioneer in cannabis technology. Dawne helped launch Proteus420, one of the first and most trusted seed-to-sale ERP platforms, supporting cultivation, manufacturing, distribution, and retail across North America. She and David also are respected industry voices and a strong advocate for women in cannabis tech. So I'm just going to bring on Dawne, who has been got on. And I want to say hello, love. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I love the hair color. That's beautiful.
I bought it. It's all mine out of a bottle.
Yeah, I heard that. How's the family? How's David? Everyone doing
Doing
well?
well.
Doing
Yeah,
well?
everybody's doing really well. Our son just graduated with his bachelor's in science this last Friday. So super proud. We just got back from Ohio on Sunday. So we were MJ Biz, then Ohio, now home. And it feels good to be home for a bit before
Yes, I
2026
bet.
starts.
I bet. How was MJ Biz?
MJ Biz was interesting. I feel like so we've only been going, this was our sixth year that we've been attending MJ Biz.
Right,
I'm always late to the party. I never come in a dress or pearls or any of that stuff. I always come in my sneakers and shit kickers, right?
right, right, right.
um, but I have noticed that in the last 2 years in particular, that the numbers of people walking the show floor have dropped dramatically.
Mm-hmm,
It seems like there was a lot less booths this year and than there were last year, and a lot less foot traffic this year than there was last year.
mm-hmm.
And I thought about it. There was a lot of mumblings and a lot of unhappy and people. And I've just realized that Vegas is so huge that people not only come there to do business, but they come there to have fun. And
Right,
that whole mantra of what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. Not so much in the cannabis space, but
right.
I've noticed in the last several years, last 3 years in particular, that the parties outside of the after parties and per se and the meeting places are happening outside of MJ Biz.
Mm-hmm,
I think there's a reckoning happening and a culling of people. You got your clicks to the left, and you've got your people who are trying to get into those clicks on the right, and in
right.
the middle are the people who are still trying to figure out where they fit into this industry.
Mm-hmm,
And so it does leave a little less to be desired when everything's broken and not really in the same place. So it makes for some crazy, but I'm not a big after party person.
right.
I've never been a big partier ever. So I do enjoy getting together with familiar faces and
Mm-hmm.
industry partners and having those really great conversations. And so that's what we tend to do. So to answer your question, that was the long answer, but to answer the short side of it, it was I think we saw this year a big the drop in the consistency of business. 2025 has been a hard year for a lot of
Mm,
people in the cannabis space. Doesn't
mm-hmm.
matter what state you're in. And we're seeing it not just in cannabis, but in other business models as well. Look, people just aren't buying and they're not expanding as they were this year. So I'm thinking 2026 may be the year of people coming back and finding that space, and hopefully it'll be a positive year. But for me personally, MJ Biz was quality over quantity. Every single person that came into our booth wanted to be there, knew about us, had questions, really were interested in learning more, and being able to talk about all the new pieces that we were launching at MJ Biz was really important.
Oh, and that's the one thing we want to talk about are
Hmm.
the new pieces that you're launching.
Oh yeah.
What are we looking forward to in 2026? I've been hearing a lot about Phoebe and other
Yes.
aspects that's going on. I know that you're going to be part of a cohort for City University with Lehman College here in New York.
Yep.
But what's the main thing right now? Let's get started. Tell us what we're expected for 2026.
So we have been beta testing. The beginning of the year, we started beta testing our AI business intelligence, which is Phoebe. I'm in love with her. She's kind of putting to AI she's bringing this calmness to AI. Like, a lot of people get nervous about AI and they think, oh, computers are stealing my job. But that's really not Phoebe's job. Phoebe's job is to make you look like a rock star. She's giving you and bringing information to the table that you may or may not have known what to ask. And so we've got this huge data pool of information. And, you know, let's be real, a lot of our cannabis operators don't know what questions to ask to make really good decisions. And so Phoebe comes in and says, hey, I've noticed this stock might be, isn't moving as quickly, or you tried to do a purchase order for this, but you still have X amount of this product. Are you sure you really want to do that? So helping make better money decisions, helping make better and smarter business decisions for growth and forecasting. And then the opposite side of that, from the retailer side, being able to really help the bud tenders upsell, bring information and new products or brands to consumers that they weren't necessarily aware of. You know, basically looking at terps versus THC versus what they've previously purchased. If you've got, you know, a senior versus a 25-year-old, they're not necessarily going to be buying the same thing. So being able to look at what they were purchasing in the past, how to open their eyes and their minds to other products and brands. And so Phoebe's going to be thinking for you behind the scenes and kind of helping you just be smarter in your business decisions so that growth is easy and expected. And so we beta tested her through the first 6 months of the year, and then she went into alpha testing with live clients around June of this year. And so we launched her and our new glow up, which we're calling, you know, the Golden Lotus. We did the glow up and the whole new version of what our back end system looks like. It's got better reporting, you know, in conjunction with Phoebe, better analytics, more smarter decision making tools, just more information at your fingertips.
Okay. And with that, what has been your struggle coming into the New York market? Now I understand Metrics is out, BioTrack is out now, Metrics is in, and you've had some issues with Metrics as well, getting on board with what has been exactly the specific issues that you feel?
Yeah, I mean, look, let's apples and oranges, BioTrack and Metric, right? It's
Right.
kind of the lesser of the two evils. I'm actually really happy that Metric took over, and whatever the problem was with BioTrack not being able to facilitate what the state needed and what requirements were needed. I don't know if it was a time money issue, if they got in over their head. I can't even imagine what it's like to be a part of a state compliance portal and building it out for the multitudes of states. So I can only imagine that, you know, that it was rough for them. But instead of grabbing the bull by the horns, it kind of kept getting delayed and delayed and delayed. And did hear some rumblings about Metric coming in and taking out, and that was about a year and a half ago. So when it did come into play, I wasn't surprised. And again, the lesser of the two evils, but it entered the market in a strange place that no one was really talking about. Look, you know me, I'm going to bring the real conversations to the table. I hate the unicorns and rainbows and, you know, rainbow things that don't really exist in this space. But at what happened was, not only did Metric come in, but then there was this conglomeration of Metric and BioTrack merging and or creating a new entity that, in my opinion, was going to monopolize the state market. There really is no check and balance anymore. There's no competition anymore for the states. So now the states are going to be required to do some extra heavy lifting and hold the level of accountability to Metric from the state reporting. So when it comes to New York, you know, some of the things we've been seeing this week, in the last 10 days, just let alone the fact that you can't, they want, Metric has basically made the decision. I'm assuming this is coming from the state, but basically all of the operators who are operating currently right now had to upload their inventory to Metric to tell them what they were holding stock for. However, they wanted more information that there was no way of putting it in unless you hand entered it. So they wanted THC.
Oh, did we lose her? I think we lost her for a minute. Give her a second. She just blipped out. Something happened. I don't know. Let me text her real quick. Hold on for a minute, guys. Sorry about that. Let's give her a minute. She'll come right back. My apologies on it, guys. Sometimes that happens with technology. We all get into a flow, and then shit happens, as we all know. So give it a few minutes. Give me a couple of seconds, please, and she'll come right back on. And there she is. She came back on.
Know what just happened there. Somebody was coming in on my line and I hit disconnect and it just disconnected me from everything.
That's okay.
Technology.
Yeah, no worries, no worries, no worries, man. All right, so you could go ahead.
Oh, I was talking about Metric and BioTrack and how they
Right.
kind of came together. And I'm not sure exactly where I got cut off on there, but basically, Metric and BioTrack have created this entity, which I believe they're calling it BT something or other, and it's creating this monopoly of state reporting systems now. And what's going to happen? And this is my foreshadowing, my doom and gloom, if you will. But I feel that Metric is now going to step into all of the states and take over for BioTrack. BioTrack will exit and take on their moniker of All Leaves, which is the point of sale system. And what I feel is going to happen is that there's going to be some favoritism to the All Leave system over all of the third party integrators. Because let's be real, in the last 2 years, integrators have all been hit with having to pay now to report for their states. We get basic sandbox privileges now, and then aside from that, we are if we want better or more facilitated information from Metric, we have to pay for it. And so there's some dipping there, and then I feel like the favoritism. So where does that kind of come from? It kind of goes into what's going on with New York right now. We've technically, there is December 17th was supposed to be the day that all of the retailers were supposed to have all of their product in and uploaded so that they could start reporting. But they didn't turn on the reporting portal until just a couple of days ago. And then people were having issues reporting all of their information. Some of the things were reporting, some of them weren't. Things were sending up information. And then as you went through, you were finding out that, oh, now you have to add strains and now you have to add THC percentages, and you don't have package ID numbers associated with anything that you already have yet. And so then there was coming into the aspect where, the retailers were going to have to purchase these. And so, it begged the question for me, and it still begs the question, are we playing a money game and a money grab for everybody in this industry? Or are we doing this so that product and money stays in a system and the state knows where it's going? And I feel like we are in the money part of this. And at the end of the day, I have said this out loud and I've said this to everybody, but Metric is not beholden to any of the integrators. They're beholden to the state. That's who their contract is with. And that's who they report to. They are not beholden to the end users, who are the retailers and cultivators and manufacturers and distributors. They're not beholden to them. They're basically buying a system that they're using to report through. So in comes us as third parties, and we try to make it so that it is easier to use the system, to rely on, giving them tools that's doing the talking back and forth, and the tools to show them where there are errors and where there isn't, and help them run their business at the same time. But at the end of the day, what we're finding is that, we've got two separate types of accounts, right? So those retailers and those other businesses have a different set of support, where the API and the integrators have a different set of support people, and they don't talk to each other. So it takes a long time to get things rectified for our customers, our mutual customers. And I'm beholden to my customers. I'm beholden to the state to give them complete and accurate information, and I'm beholden to my customers. And I feel like we've got all of these ins and outs that are happening, and everybody's just trying to make as much money as they can on the backs of people who are trying to support an industry and a community that is, something that they love and something that they've always wanted to do, and now that they can do legally. So there's a push and pull. I'm not happy. I'm not happy,
Mhm.
I'm not unhappy. I just feel like there's this status quo that we're in, and I feel like metric is, again, I'll say it again, it's the lesser of the two evils, but I feel I'll make a little bit of I feel like they're there for the after parties and they're there for the money. They're not really there for the community, and that kind of concerns me.
With that, I mean, it just seems like, well, until we are federally legal, this would be a good time to really,
Deschedule, deschedule,
uh,
deschedule. Let's.
right, right, which we were supposed to find out Monday.
It's
I
all a
don't know.
game.
Yeah,
It's
it's
all
all,
a game.
I don't think it'll happen for a while anyway. So this would be a good time though for many states to be able to prepare for that, like streamline
Hmm.
all of this broken communication that's going on between, I guess, like you said, the retailers and API and all that. What can new customers do to prepare themselves for those type of pitfalls? Um,
Com-
you
uh,
know,
c- Communication, ask questions, learn. Honestly, you yourself, as the business owner, understanding that you're the one on the hook for this, personally and professionally. And if something isn't going right, whether it's the state or it's the government, whether it's the federal government, the state, your softwares that are supposedly supporting you, or the toolboxes that you're given, hold them accountable, ask questions, learn them, do your due diligence, because you're your own business. If it doesn't work, it's because it failed you. But how did it
mhm,
fail you? Did it fail you because you didn't ask the right questions, or is it because you were spending more than you were bringing in and you didn't know? Or the state comes in and says, hey, you haven't sent any of your information over in the last year, why aren't you checking that? Like, where having that's where kind of the smart business tools, and that's kind of, with 17 years in doing this,
mhm,
having kind of gone through and learned each of these pieces, we learn as we go as the rules change, as the states change, but more importantly, as the business owners become smarter and more attentive and more aware of their responsibilities and
mhm,
what their business needs are and what their business means to them.
mhm.
This isn't just peddling some product, to your friends anymore. This is your personal assets now on the line, your car, your home, your 401k from the job that you worked for the last 25 years. It's not just closing the doors anymore. It's closing, it's losing
Yeah.
all of the initiative that you've put in there, both from the heart, but also from your pocketbook.
What
These
did
are
you?
people's livelihoods. I mean, you can't
Yeah,
mess with them.
well, yeah, I agree. I've been up and down the state now and visiting some farms and meeting a lot of the people, and their main concern is, will they survive the next 2 years due to the current political situation they're in, not making money. A lot of they have a list here, COD list, that if you're on that list, you're in trouble.
Mhm,
Right? So, and that list is growing.
mhm.
People are having a very hard time. Many of the retailers are having a hard time selling their products. The processors I know are having a hard time moving it. Um,
Yep.
so it's a precarious situation right now, considering I think we're going to hit 2 billion this year in sales
Yeah.
still, right?
Yeah.
So what has been the hardest obstacle for Proteus to get into the New York State market?
Okay, I'm gonna piggyback just for a second before I
Hmm.
answer that question, because I think, look, here's the deal. People are still buying cannabis.
Oh yeah.
People are buying. Where are they buying? What are they buying?
Right.
That's the question. So, so when it comes to the states and it comes to legislative things, what is the goal, right? I mean, we could stand up here in our nice suits and our fancy dresses and our lipstick and, diamond earrings. And at the end of the day, what are we trying to accomplish? I know for me as a community member, as someone who's been a member of this community since I was a little girl, being able to support it, it's so that people can work and live and support this from a medicinal side, as well as being able to go in and sell on the adult side as it makes its way through the states. Because people will buy, it doesn't matter where or how, they're going to buy it. And so
Hmm.
if we keep taxing and overtaxing and retaxing and distribute and redistributing and giving the companies that pay the most in these pink stocks, or are rallying on the back end, the names of those companies,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
come in, they've got they've got they've got a shop on every corner, and they're selling hemp byproduct or CBD and touting the THCA as actually cannabis. And so they're not putting out the right information, and they're taking a market and they're looking for these smaller operators who are failing, and they kind of gobble them up, and they just create more of a price gouge to the industry, right? So how can
Hmm.
you go against the guys who are gobbling up the smaller companies and are buying things for pennies on the dollar because of waste, because people are just trying to mass exit at this point? And so that in itself is a problem, but that's a
Hmm.
bigger problem, and that is something that has to be fixed from the local side, right? We have to go to each of our states. So let's talk New York, right? So that means we have to put people in charge who understand the community. We have to have a balance of business ownership, of cannabis operating. And that means people who have worked the street corner on it, and sold underground, and understand what people are trying to achieve with this as a business moniker, as well as from the corporate side, and how are we going to maintain this and make it easy for everybody to have a opportunity. Look, aren't we the land of the free, right? This is
Yeah.
supposed to be the ability to come in and live our dreams. And New York City is, hello, bright lights, big city. If you can't make it in New York, you can't make it anywhere, right?
Hmm.
So we have a lot of our operators who are running into the same three problems: the coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? They
Hmm.
could have done this, they should have done something else, and now where they are is well, if I would have done the other two first, I probably wouldn't be in this predicament. And it all comes down to doing your due diligence and listening, being prepared. Um, I can't say that enough, because there are times where I'll talk to one business and they've got all of their eggs lined up and they know exactly what they're doing, and then I'll talk to two more and they're just like, well, we want to do this, or we want to make this happen, or we want to do this. And if you're constantly giving people things for free, then they start to expect it, and then
Yeah.
you're going up against your competition, and your competition's coming in, and then you've got payments, and there's all these different pieces of these puzzles that come in, and not all the puzzle pieces are going to fit. And so you have to make it right, and sometimes you may not have all the puzzle pieces. So how do you transition to a different puzzle, right? How do you move or make it work without that actual puzzle piece? And so again, knowledge, education, communication, I think, are like three main things that would help any cannabis operator, whether it's New York or in any other state, just thrive and survive at this point.
Okay. And so the second part is, what have been the obstacles for you though for Proteus?
I
Um,
I
because
think the
go ahead.
yeah. No, go ahead. Yes.
No, because I'm finding like a lot of people, a lot of businesses I'm running into um, are are pushing. How can I say it? I guess their marketing strategy. They're undermining their marketing strategy, or they're undermining a way of getting the word out. They're focusing on, you know what I mean? So what do you think? Um,
I think the hardest obstacle that we've had is the money drives, right? I
Hmm.
can't fight against somebody who has a $40 million marketing budget.
Hmm.
That's not who I am. It's not who I ever want to be.
Right.
Um, and so, so realizing that I may not have the same reach. Somebody once told me recently, just because they're the loudest in the room.
Hmm. Oh, she went off again. Hold on. It happens. She's out in an area that's like, what? There you go. Okay.
Sorry.
You're good. No,
All of a sudden
move
I
your
became
phone.
popular.
Yeah, no worries. Move your phone over a little bit. There you
There
go.
we
So
go.
we could get that sun out, and then you could turn
The
off the
sunshine is starting to come in on the back end of my house, so it
right.
makes it hard. Let's see
No,
if
no
we can get
worries.
that. Is that better?
Yeah, that's much better. Much better. So we were talking about your obstacles in getting into the New York state market.
I lost you.
You did.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I didn't do anything. Hold on for a minute. Let's see what we
H-
can find.
Hold on, let me do this again.
Right. No worries. Some I'd be having like great people on the show, man. And we'd be having technical difficulties like crazy. I can't wait to get her on in studio one day. So, or we do all on location. It's really cool. So no worries, no worries. I hope you all are enjoying.
Oh
Dome.
mama,
Yeah.
I just got real popular apparently on my phone. So
Okay. You can hear me now, right?
I can totally hear you.
That's awesome. Okay. So we're talking about obstacles, Proteus coming into the New York State market.
Mhm. Yeah.
What has been like for you? I know um, for many of these retailers, they're very concerned about the technology, the customer service.
Right.
Will they have the support? Is everything up to date? Is the technology, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn, compliant. So
Right.
go ahead, right? Go ahead.
Well, and that's the thing is a lot of people come in and they overpromise and underdeliver. So I am more of a check us out. We can give you a sandbox, do some test runs. I am all about holding myself accountable to the same level I would hold somebody else accountable to. So,
Mhm.
there is a lot of competition, and look, competition keeps us honest, right? For the most part, I would hope.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, you know, there is a level of, I again, there just because you're the fat kid in the sandbox with all the toys doesn't mean that you're happy and that you're doing the right thing or that you have the right toys.
Hmm.
um and I think people get scared when they hear all in one, right? I think they get scared when they hear all in one because if one piece goes down, they think everything goes down. But this is what 35 plus years in technology um helps us with. We are prepared for any iteration, any problem, any failure point, known or unknown. We're prepared for it. And so, I may, like I said, I may not have a $40 million marketing budget, but I have 8 data centers around the world and I own all of my equipment and all of my bandwidth is owned by me. AWS is my backup. So
Mm.
about a month ago when AWS went down and Cloudflare went down, it affected a lot of people in the industry. Some people had to close their doors. For us, we had a tunnel change. It was a matter of us having a back door to go around Cloudflare and allow us to operate, and our customers were able to operate and keep their doors open when some of their customers, well, some of their competition had to shut their doors. Because you can't write things down in this industry. You can't let you can't let money in and product out without reporting it. So
Right.
when it comes to those things, the technology, I stand behind my team. My team is some of the smartest, most amazing technology people that I've ever met. And I think probably when we consider all of our team, we're looking at over 100 years of education and knowledge in those heads, and they're all local. When I say local, meaning they're here in the States. Most of our employees work remotely in their
Mhm.
states, but our team here that's in San Diego, I've got teams in Europe as well and in Asia,
Mhm.
that can help and take care of the data centers. But when it comes to the programming, it is all done here in house. There is nothing
Mhm.
that is outsourced.
Mhm. And that's all done by that great team led by your husband, David.
He's
Um,
pretty amazing. Yeah,
yeah.
he's pretty amazing. I mean, honestly, not because he's my husband, but he is just truly brilliant. And the talent you bring things. This is what separates us from. I always say this is what separates us from our competition. You legitimately have between our team and David. You have almost a direct line to him. If you have an idea or a concept or something that you want to add to the system that's going to help you and or everybody, we're communicating every day. Our system is modifying itself on a day-to-day basis. And so sometimes they're subtle things, and sometimes they're with our glow up, sometimes those are just now the reporting is more just beautiful to look at, and it makes sense. And but we talk with our customers, we have these conversations, we work with compliance officers, we know the struggles between the compliance teams and the state reporting agencies, where they're running into problems with the state reporting system. So being able to have those conversations on all those different levels, and then have the conversation with the state reporting system to say, hey, this is a constant problem, how do we fix this? It helps us have a voice for everybody instead of just the people who pay them the most, right?
Mhm.
It
Mhm.
should be
Mhm.
fair. It should be a fair game.
Right, right. And of course, that it should be a fair game, but of course, we have those that just don't play fair.
Yeah.
And let's go on another topic. We know that Proteus is guaranteed. Your products and services and the people that you've service. I've done my due diligence, and I have to vet and talk to people to make sure everything is straight
Good.
up.
I agree.
And
Everybody should get
and
it.
and all the one vibe I got was like they were talking about family,
Yep. We
right?
have the
So
best
that's that.
customers. We have the best customers.
Yeah.
Our I could not say enough about even the ones that haven't stayed with us and may have moved on or have closed. It is a family environment. Sometimes a dysfunctional family,
Well, yeah.
but
I mean, yeah.
I don't want to be kissed on the lips by Auntie Joan, but
Hmm.
we laugh, we joke, we acknowledge, we hold ourselves accountable, and we can have those real conversations. Some of them are hard, some of them are not easy conversations, but they're honest and they come from a place of doing the best for everybody involved. And so I can't talk enough about my customers. I will tell you, I don't tell my customers to leave me feedback or give me reviews or let me pay you to do X, Y, or Z. They legitimately go out and they're like, you have people, they're like, have people who are interested call me. I will give them the 411, and like real conversations. It makes my heart happy, and it makes everything that we do here so worth it in the
Well,
end, because
it's because you're doing your job and you're very
yeah,
passionate about it. I think that
right,
that really helps. I mean, as a consumer and one that seeks certain services, I want to deal with people that are really passionate now about what they're into. If I'm buying clothes, if I'm buying weed, whatever,
right,
but you're, it's good to hear that there are good family businesses out there that are leading the way and providing quality products and services to their communities.
we're
One,
we are officially owned and family owned and operated now. It's actually
mhm.
really funny. I mean, David and I obviously being married, but also being business partners for God. It's funny. Today's our 23rd wedding anniversary,
Oh,
and
congratulations!
I'm surprised he hasn't murdered me yet. Honestly,
Me too.
I'm a much. I am much.
No, no, you're not. You know what?
Oh.
But we're going on 2 years knowing each other. So, and
Our
people, go ahead.
our son officially joined the team, and he's come in as someone who's working with the operations part of thing, and he's been loving it. He's been learning and growing from our consultants, and our team here and our customers. He also brings that youth, because let's be real, he's 22,
Mhm.
23, and he brings something that my 56-year-old ass doesn't have anymore, and that is an understanding of that youth market. And as someone who supports the community himself in Ohio, he now has an understanding of what we do from both sides of it. Because look, whether we're family or not, at the end of the day, if my customers can't sell to their customers, that's a problem. So my goal is to make sure that my customers are up all the time and selling and doing and providing a service in what they do every day, making money by selling products to their customers or servicing their medicinal needs, getting patients access to their medicine. And that is all done so that it can be reported to the state. So if they can't do that, then I'm not doing my job. So that's
Well,
how
on
important
a,
for me.
on a real quick side note, I got to tell everyone on my IG page, I've never had this many people on. I'm very happy about that. To all of you, I don't have a moderator to chat with everyone.
Be nice.
But thank you. No, everyone is just listening, and I appreciate you all on LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Thank you so much for all of you coming today. I'm actually like, what the fuck? First time, because
I
it's
love
normally like
it.
two people,
Ask all the questions.
right?
I love
But
it.
if anyone does have questions on Instagram, I don't have the link up yet, but I am on Instagram at the OG PoppaDukes. Uh, uh, but if you all have any questions, by all means, bust them out. But no, getting back, um, how has it been for women in cannabis when it comes through advocacy, activism? Do you see any change since last year?
Oh yes, oh my. Um, Look, I have seen a huge influx of strong, powerful women coming into this industry, and they're decision makers. They are community leaders. They're retailers. They're heading shops, and a lot of them are coming out of New York. Like, get it, New York! I am so freaking happy about that.
Yeah,
Let
they
me
don't
tell
play
you,
here.
most women, we don't play. So you're going to get a real conversation and real truth out of the ladies who are coming in from the New Jersey, New York, Delaware, Maryland, all of that. I'm just the amount of women that I'm seeing coming into some beautiful power, and educating. I was just watching, I wish I could remember the ladies' names. I just heard them talking, but they were having a conversation in regards to what is the problem with cannabis, the cannabis community, for women. And she's like, can we just stop talking about us being women and let's just get down to the plant medicine? And I thought that's a great way to explain it. Like, that's great, we're powerful women, we're in our space, but let's be able to bring the medicine to the people,
Hmm.
and put the plant in the hands of the people that want it and need it. And again, I'm going to say this again: deschedule that plant. It is a plant. It is not meant to be rescheduled. It's meant to be descheduled.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yes.
women, I'm going to say we've probably seen, and I'm making these numbers up, ladies and men, so I apologize, but I would say visually and from what I've noticed, I'm going to say at least a 25 35% increase in women's voices in the cannabis space just in this last year alone. I've seen that much of an increase.
And it's a lot of youth too, because in health and wellness,
Oh,
I'm running into like these young people. I got to tell you, man, they're going to take it to a whole new level, because I've been going to a lot of health and wellness events that really have been highly therapeutic, and being introduced to different ways to deal with your stresses in life, so to speak.
oh yeah.
Um, uh, there's there's I think just a movement that's gaining strength, especially after hearing Zoran know he vapes and smokes weed too.
Listen, I am so happy that your state put that man in. I just
Oh,
now the accountability has to happen, right? Because
right.
here's what we just don't let them run amok. We have to hold them accountable, hold them to their promises. But look at what's going on. We've got potentially, look, I'm really happy about Jasmine Crockett maybe
Yeah,
getting,
Jasmine Crockett,
oh, I love her. That
um,
woman has my heart. She's my love language for, she's,
Westmore,
yes.
Maryland.
Yeah.
You have,
Virginia too, I think,
yeah,
if I'm
they
not
got a
mistaken.
female governor now.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah.
liberal. So
So
it's, yeah.
women are, back in the old days, when dinosaurs roamed the earth, and kind of something that I've heard a lot lately is women belong in the kitchen. I'm like, no, you don't want me in the kitchen because I know how to poison people without it actually showing. Um,
Yeah,
just saying. Um,
it's been, it's, if I hope I hope I'm right in this, but I did read an article where archaeologists found that they went as far back as 10,000 years, and saw that there were no mass graves up until about 5,000 years ago.
mhm,
So it showed that there was a transition from matriarchal to patriarch.
mhm.
And so I believe we're going back to that, where women are natural community leaders. Okay, they have a nurturing aspect. You could tell by the Italian Prime Minister Meloni.
Oh yeah.
Okay, on
You have to check out the new president of Ireland. She's
oh
amazing.
yeah,
I Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
she's bringing back original Irish Gaelic to the community,
yeah.
merge North and South Ireland. I'm very much a proponent of that. I mean, I could talk on the political spectrum for days on that.
Oh yeah,
You know,
yeah.
we've got the woman, the president in Mexico as well. I mean, there's so many powerful things that are happening right now, and I feel like this is where Dawn gets a little weird in the universal language of things. 2025 was a cleansing year. I really truly believe that. I think
Mm.
spiritually, and if you believe in a higher power or
I
whatever,
do. Yeah, yeah.
sun, the moon, the plants, the trees, there is a cleansing period. And I feel like we have a moment right now to reflect on what it's kind of like a bad relationship, right? I used to tell my son this: when you're dating in school, middle school, high school, what have you, you're not learning what you want to marry or what you want to be with. You're learning what you don't want. And 2025 is the year of what we don't want, right? So we cleanse it. So we
Right.
all hit 2026. We are now going to be louder, prouder, more obtuse, if you will, in
Hmm.
the area of what we want and what we don't want. We are going to start being more, I think, resounding in our words and our actions, and I think we need more of that. People need to be afraid of us because we, the people, are the ones that control what happens. And when we come together as a unit, whether it's in cannabis or in anything, whether it's politically, religiously, what have you, when we all come together and we have that same motive behind us, that driving force, and you get a woman, she's going to smile, she's going to feed you, she's going to also put some arsenic in that food for the people who don't need to be going forward. So, I mean, let's just be real. But no, I think at the end of the day, we are going to see 2026 as a very powerful year. If I'm not mistaken, I believe that the Chinese, I think it's the year of the dragon next year, isn't it?
I'm not too sure. Well, I mean, I can ask Google real quick. Let's ask Google.
Somebody's
Yeah,
got to know it.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
think about it. I mean,
is I said it 17 times already. Let me do that over again. Is 2026 the year of the dragon? Year of the dragon horoscope prediction. Okay, November. Okay, it's the year of
no.
the fire horse.
Oh, even better. Okay.
Okay, thank you,
Love it.
honey. Yeah.
Okay. I
Yeah, it's
love
the
that.
year of the fire
The fire horse.
horse. Supposedly following, oh, the year of the dragon was in 2024.
Oh, okay. So it makes sense. We burned everything to the ground for 2025. The
Yeah,
dragon came, burned the ground, and
right,
now we're gonna have everything rebloom. My thing for Proteus was the golden lotus. It's of from the murky depths, the lotus does
right.
bloom. So
Yeah,
something beautiful comes from things that need to go through the pain and the anguish. And unfortunately, this has been a hard year for many people. But to bring up the light on that, something that I think is an interesting fact. This is me and some history facts, but the Vikings had shield maidens. The women went out and fought with their men, and they took care of their horse. They bore their women,
mhm,
and a lot of time those shield maidens were pregnant fighting on the battlefield.
yeah.
So could you imagine a woman pregnant and running this country? Oh my God.
Oh yeah. I mean, I
We need
can.
people
I
like
don't.
that.
Well, I don't. We don't. For one, the ideology of this country is dying. There's a new wave of diverse thought, that is, I believe, all inclusive. We are tired of the policies and laws that have oppressed
Hmm.
many. And I had a conversation up in West New York when I was visiting the Buffalo area, and we went into a bar. Jesus Christ, Michael Fertucci from Green Spectrum takes me into the most right wing bar and little restaurant and there, and I don't know if he thought I was going to be intimidated by it, but I love it. Take me into and let's see, and I saw a lot of anti left and leftists and this and all that, and I'm like, yo, all this energy that y'all put into hate or to you really should apply it to building your communities. And what is it that are fearful of? Nobody really wants to take what you have.
Right.
You have earned that. And when I go up and visit, I really respect the communities that worked hard, that have been there generational after generation after generation. Um, the propaganda of America is everybody is seeing the truth of it. Um,
What is
I'm
propaganda but control, right?
but control, yeah.
And so when someone can't make money off of it, or if they can't make the most amount of money off it, they try to control it so that they can. And look, just we know this just from growing up in look at middle school. Look at all of us when we went through middle school.
Mhm,
Not very few of us are still friends with those middle school friends, right?
mhm,
Because we were figuring out our speech, we were figuring out our language and our patterns and what we wanted in life. And I think what I have done is, look, I think most of us can say that we've all run down the rabbit hole a little bit on the trolling and getting angry and no, see things my way. But look, here's the thing. When I ask a question, I'm not asking a question because I'm judging. I'm asking a question because I want to learn. I want to learn why somebody thinks, acts, or makes decisions in the way that they do, whether it's religious, political, business, what have you. My goal is to learn something new every day. And that's how I've always tried to live my life. And
mhm.
if I can impart that in one person per day, I feel like the love train kind of just automatically grows and choo-choos down that line with no problem. Um, but when we give the power to the negative language and the negative speech and we impart it and we share it, we're just empowering more of that. And so I feel like if we just take away the power of the hate, and look, I'm not, I'm sitting here as a white woman who understands and acknowledges the privilege that I've had.
Mhm.
Um, I know it's easy for me to say that I haven't had many of the struggles that many women who are of different ethnicities have. My daughter-in-law, for instance, She is, she's a brown girl and a brown woman, and she's fearful in where she lives, and that scares me for her. So how can I make her feel safe? Like, my goal is to go in and fix that, right? But I can't fix by going. I want to protect, but I want to protect and educate. And why is she scared? I want to understand that. And so when I think about it and just spending that time with her recently, her fear is because of the ritterall, the hate that's constantly being shared. And so social media, all of these things, as much as our businesses rely on it, and as much does our life have to revolve around it as much too. And I have found that since I've unplugged a lot, people probably aren't seeing as much from me this year. There's only so much of the bad stuff that you can take, so I've
Mm.
chosen to not give the power to the hate. And if I can be a voice for those that it's affecting, and I can help protect them, and I can help educate people on why other people are fearful before, then I want to use my privilege for good, and I acknowledge that. Will it mean that people will always listen? No. Sometimes it goes in one ear and out the other, but even if just one person, and then they share it and pass it on and pass it on, it's like that old 70s commercial with Heather Locklear with the shampoo.
Yeah, why you
you
gotta
know
be, she be bringing up stuff like, to be telling our age and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, God damn.
Look, I'm really
Uh,
old. I'm
no,
old,
you're
old,
not.
old.
I look, I'm 61, right? And I still feel like I'm 20, right?
You're only as old
Except
as you
for
feel.
except for when I get up from my chair. And so, but I mean, it really is like, yeah, it really is. It's really how you feel. I'm not going to be an old man until my body says you're old. Okay, but I am so happy to be able to live through this revolution of what we're going through. And I really didn't understand the true meaning of what's going on until like last year, of the potential of the cannabis market, the ancillary businesses that can make good money off of it. People can actually earn a living. Um, I tell a lot of these young people that work for cannabis companies, be it cultivators, processors, or retailers, if they're really doing well, you really want to stick with it. Get
Yeah.
as much as you can and learn about this market and grow. You all are capable of actually retiring from this if it's done right.
Yeah, it's true.
You know,
Or creating a legacy that you can
mhm.
leave to someone else. And you know, we've have so many operators that have so many great opportunities with the people that are just starting out in this industry, under their education, under their motivation, just coming in and just being able to be a mentor to them. And so, I always tell people, if you feel like if you feel like your employees aren't sticking with you, you have to look inward, right? If you've got a revolving door of employees, I guarantee it's not the employees that are the problem, it's usually you. Um,
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
sometimes fixing that, and it's never late, it's never too late. You can always change. But then, you've got people who are coming in and they're like, I have a friend of mine, she just got a job as a bud tender. She's in Oregon and she's so excited. She's like, I've lived and loved the plant my whole life. She said, and now I've gotten my permit and now I can work in Oregon and I got my first job. And she said, I have the most lovely community that I get to support in Portland. And her owner operator of that dispensary also supports, there's lifestyle involved, and the community. And so when you come into that, when you feel that, Your employees are a representation of your business. You give them education and love and care. They're going to educate, love, and care for your consumers. And guess what? They'll keep coming back. So it's really important. Like, my goal when David and I started this business, I think our goals were a little bit different. Like his goal was to create a legacy. And I think that that's great, but we weren't sure if our son was going to get involved. My goal was to become an employee owned company. And so our employees are a very big part of how we maneuver and grow. And I understand that they bring so much knowledge and passion, but they also understand both sides of the spectrum, not only the customer and the partner, but also the technology and the business. So you get a really good you get to have a conversation with someone. I always tell people I hire people from the industry and people who are kind of curious and want to learn and educate. The guys who do my training on my cultivation side, they're ex-growers, they're retired out of the industry. Same with manufacturing and the retail side. They've worked retail, they understand it, they know compliance, they've worked in compliance and consulted on compliance. So it's really important to pull some of the if you bring in that team and there's a great balance, you will be forever taken care of because it just becomes natural, it becomes the dynamic.
Well, I just want to say we're going to end it on that beautiful, because you are definitely going to see a lot of success in 2026.
Yes.
I'm so glad that we are going to continue this, and hopefully work on some other projects too as well with you. I want to tell you, your Phoebe is already out, right?
Yes, Phoebe's out. She is live and in person. And I have to say, I know we were going to end it on that, but when you see
No, go ahead.
Phoebe, can I tell you how much I'm just so in love with her. She is the culmination of the strongest women in my life. When you look at her, she is my daughter-in-law, my daughter, and my two granddaughters who, so you get to see an iteration of the eyes, the nose, the mouth. She is, when I made her, when we talked about creating her, I wanted her to be somebody you would go and have coffee with and you would
Right.
talk to as a friend. I wanted her to be your BFF. And so people are using her. I had the first time when we released her out, I had one of my customers send me a message and they're like, I don't like AI. She's freaking me out. How do I turn her off? And I said, just hit the little X button and tell her you but then when she wasn't there, he's like, well, I want to know this question. I was like, turn on Phoebe and just talk to her. She's not
Right.
there to take your job. She's there to make you look amazing. And so now he's embraced it. And it's been really funny. So he was one of our first alpha testers. And now he comes to us, he's like, can you make her do this? Can she do this? Can she pay for my son's wedding? Like, I'm like,
Oh my God. Can she pay for my, what the hell? Here, let me show everyone. Let me show everyone what she looks like. Here. Okay, there we go. That's Phoebe.
yep, that's a little look at Phoebe.
Yeah.
I
Uh,
love her. She's got a little bit old world charm and she's got a little bit of that. A lot of people are, I didn't want her to look cartoony. Like everybody goes that cartoon route or
right.
like super robot-y. Again, I wanted her to have an interaction with you. It's funny, we have her on our system and where seasonally she changes. So right now you see her with her Greek uh olive leaves.
Right.
But for
With the headphones. I mean, I'm feeling that.
with the
Yeah.
headphones where she's listening. But if you look at her in our system right now, she's got a Santa hat for Christmas. And then
Oh, okay.
for New Year, she'll have 2026 glasses on. So every season she'll change, she has hearts on her for Valentine's Day and she
Right.
has a little flag for President's Day and
Right.
July 4th she has fireworks and stuff. So we get to have fun with her. And again, it's we want her to be embraced. I don't want anybody to look at it and go, "Ooh, that feels cold," or "Ooh, I don't want to use that." I want people to go, "I want to take that girl to coffee and I want to tell her all of my deep dark secrets and I know she'll keep them."
That's awesome. Well, if that happens, that would be funny too. You go and check your levels. You're like, oh my God, she's turning into a therapist. Um,
Hey, I
uh,
have done that. There's been like, Phoebe, I'm having a rough day. And she'll be like, okay, tell me about it. I'm like, oh, whoa. Okay. This just got real weird.
and how can everyone find you?
We are on the World Wide Web, the www.proteus420. So it's Proteus 420.com. And we're also on LinkedIn and all of the socials under Proteus420. And if you want to reach out to me in particular, I do love having conversations with everybody, and I love educating and speaking on cannabis and community. I am on LinkedIn under my name, which is Dawne Morris, and it's Dawn with an E, so Dawne.
All righty, Don, thank you so much. It truly was a pleasure to be able to talk to you again. And we'll
I always
definitely
love
be
sitting
talking
down and
more.
having the real conversations. It's
All
fun.
right.
It's
Well, I want you to hold on, okay? So I'll be right with you in a few seconds. Just hold on.
okay.
And let me just say goodbye to everyone real quick. All right, everyone. So I want to thank everyone today for coming on. We are at a point in at the end of the year where we got so much done on the podcast. You'll be seeing a lot of content in 2026. We'll be starting our second season in March, if not April, and continuing on there. And for everyone that was on IG, thank you so much for being on LinkedIn, on Facebook. Thank you. As soon as I could get someone else to help me with the moderating, we'll start answering more. But feel free to bring questions. Let us know what's going on. Again, enjoy your holiday season and the new year. I will be doing a special little New Year podcast, bringing in the new year, probably up here smoking and hanging out with you all. And then after that, December 22nd, we're going to be talking with a lovely young lady, Kathleen Barreau. I was with her and did her podcast a couple of weeks ago. And it was very interesting. She had a great interviewer.